So in terms of that, right? Like in terms of the workflow, what exactly do you mean? Do you mean like optimizing your blog and like adding keywords and stuff of that nature, or do you and what is your knowledge of SEO right now at all?
Yeah,
Just
so I would say I'm pretty tech savvy. So I do understand like the world of SEO, but
okay.
I didn't understand and probably still don't fully understand how to do it effectively. So I signed up for Yoast. So I paid for Yoast and
Hmm.
and then I watched like two 10-minute YouTube videos, YouTube University, to try to like learn how to use Yoast. And so I did install on Google like keyword, like it'll like you can search something. So if I just search something regular, it'll tell you how many times people have searched this,
Hmm.
that type of thing. And so I do have that, but it's like workflow wise, it's like I'm always like, okay, blogging in itself is a lot when you do like the
Yeah.
recipes that you're eating, and then writing it and then editing and then come on and have to do this other side of the SEO
Hmm.
part. And I'm just like, well, I don't, and it's like think about what people would search and I'm just like I don't know, and I don't understand some of the Yoast verbiage,
Yeah.
what
Yep.
this actually means.
Hmm.
And then probably by the time I get to um the SEO part of it and putting in those keywords or putting in that, like I don't know if you call that like a meta like a
Yeah. Meta
description for
description.
Google
Yep.
search. It's just like I'm like beat down. I'm just like, I want to do this. So my last blog post, but when I posted it, I kind of got an email right after you. And so I just held off like doing the SEO for that post. I think the recipe plugin that I use does do a little bit of it. But I didn't even add any through Yoast because I was just like, I am tired. And then, I was gonna see what you had to say before I even with that avenue.
Okay. Cool. So I'm gonna give you like a couple of quick hacks.
Okay.
Number one is you can outsource your content for really cheap, and you can, like, obviously you want to put in a lot of effort, you want to have the best content, but if one of the struggles that you're having is because writing is a full I don't write any of my content, right?
Mm,
Because writing is a full, that's like a whole nother job, right?
yeah.
So the thing is like you can outsource your content. There's a bunch of different websites that you can outsource your content on. Now, whenever you do outsource your content, one of the biggest things is making sure that you are reading the content, you are editing it, because that's what you're going to need to do. But in terms of just getting like a solid, like, let's say you need 1,000 words of content, there's a bunch of different websites that you can outsource your content on. Now, you don't need to go on Fiverr or anything like that. I don't recommend Fiverr, but there's
Yeah.
this really good website called what's it called? iWriter. It's a really good website. They have a ton of writers, and I'm going to show you what it looks like here.
Okay.
Um, I know people who use this website. I don't use it, but I know people who use it and they get really good results and they don't have no issues. And I think even on iWriter, what they do is like they have some type of integration with WordPress to where when they write your content, they can transfer it to your WordPress website without ever having to log into your website, and it makes it super easy for you. Yeah,
Ooh.
so you can use this, and they have like different levels of content, and they even show you some of their examples. So they have samples right here to show you like what it looks like. And I know people who use this and they don't have any issues, right? So that's the first thing, because you're running a business, right? So you want to work more on the business. You don't have time to like do all this other stuff inside of the business, right? So the thing
Right.
is that you know, outsourcing content is a great way to go about it, right?
Okay.
Um and most people who do SEO, by the way, like even if you hire someone to do your SEO, most of
Mhm.
the people, when you're paying them money, they are going to take some of the money that you're paying them and put it towards the content. So they're not writing
Yeah.
the content. Most SEOs, they don't write content. And the reason why is because there's so many other facets of SEO that they just don't have time to focus on writing the content,
Okay.
right? So that's the first thing. So the first thing is I definitely recommend using a website like this just to make everything easier for yourself. The
Okay.
second thing is to find keywords, right? Because that's one of the things you were talking about. To find
Mhm.
keywords, there's a bunch of ways you can go about it, right? So I actually put your website in here because I was going to show you this, but let me just show you something real quick.
Okay.
Um, So there's this tool. I don't know if you ever heard of this tool, but it's called Uber Suggest, right? Uber Suggest is a tool that Neil Patel made. And if you don't know who Neil Patel is, he's just like this big marketing guy in the industry. Like he's really,
Yeah.
you know him?
Yeah, like I think I came across, well, I do like social media marketing.
Mhm.
And so I came across him during like a social media marketing class that I took in the summer.
Great. Okay, so look, so you see, so this is one of your competitors, right? So what you can do with this tool that Neil Patel made, Uber Suggest, is you can take their website and put it in Uber Suggest, right? And then you
Mhm.
click search. And after you click search, you can actually see all of the keywords that they are actually getting traffic for. So it makes it so much easier for you because you don't have time to spend time, trying to figure out all right, what is this person searching for? What is like, do I need
Mhm.
to do this? Do I need to do that? Right. So what you want to do is you want to wait, did he? Okay, here we go. So you can see like I put in their website right here, right? And then I
Mhm.
scroll down, and when I scroll down, I can see some of these keywords. So hot Cheeto fried chicken, hot Cheeto chicken, grand baby cakes, etc., etc. I can see the position that they're in on Google for this. A lot of the times, these tools, like the position, you want to double check it yourself. So if you wanted to make sure that they're actually like showing up on Google, you would actually take this keyword and put it on Google to see, if they
Mhm.
are coming up for it. But the main point of this is that what you can start to do, yeah, see, she's right here. So she is in position. This would be position one, but what you can do is um you can utilize this tool to make keyword research so easy for you. So what
Okay.
you do is you would take all your competitors, put them in here, look at all the keywords that they're ranking for, that they're getting results for, and see if there's any keywords that they're getting results for that you can use for your business, that you can make content about for your business, because
Okay.
this already gives you the groundwork. And the best thing about this is once you identify the terms that they're already coming up for on Google, it's easy for you to then see, okay, what does their page look like? Because the thing about Google is about doing what works. So most of all, so if somebody's already showing up for a term, right? And this
Mhm.
is what their page looks like, then most likely, in order for you to show up for the term, you have to make your page similar to how theirs looks, not visually, but the way
Okay.
the information is laid out. So you can see that this is a very long form article. There's tips, there's pictures, there's ingredients, etc., etc. And the reason why this is coming up is because this is what Google deems as worthy to show to users for this
Yeah.
specific keyword.
Okay.
Get what I'm saying? So so
Mhm.
the thing so the thing is that because of that, and so here's the thing, right? So with Yoast, I'm gonna jump to Yoast real quick. So with Yoast, the problem with Yoast is that Yoast works off of a very old system. Like the way that
Okay.
Yoast is, it's not really up to date for 2020. So back in the
Okay.
day, when you were looking at Yoast, you would be able
Mhm.
to utilize those recommendations, those suggestions to, leverage it to rank on Google. The problem
Mhm.
right now is that some stuff still works in Yoast, but not all of it. And so what you
Mhm.
need to do is, like, for example, we know that this page is, ranking for this term, right?
Mhm.
So let's what's the term? What was the term? Hot Cheeto. So first thing you need to do is you need to identify, okay, are they mentioning this term in the content? They're not, and they're still ranking for it, right? So
Mhm.
like Yoast would tell you, if this was your main keyword, Yoast would tell you, hey, you need to go add this in your content X amount of times. But look,
Right.
they're
Or
not
it's not
adding in
in
it at
or it's
all.
not in that open paragraph or whatever
Right.
it keeps yelling
Right.
at me.
And the readability and all this stuff, like, don't listen to that.
Yeah.
Like, you're a human being. No program is going to be able to tell you how good your readability is going to be to another human as much as you would be able to tell yourself. So like that's why, like, Yoast, you don't want to really necessarily follow what Yoast is saying. Like, you use it as a guideline, you look at it, you try to understand, but you don't
Mhm.
necessarily need to follow that, right?
Okay.
So, but that's not to say that if you wanted to rank for this term, that you shouldn't mention this term at all. But that's just to show you one of the flaws in Yoast by itself. So one of the things
Okay.
you could do is if you wanted to rank for this term, you could mention it in your page, right? But you want to like read what they're doing. You want to see what are the most prominent keywords that are showing up, or if there's no prominent keywords that show, like for example, one of the things that I see right now is like making a murderer. Now obviously this has nothing to do with this specific thing, but the way that Google looks at specific pages is they try to figure out like they Google is so smart right now that it can use like different context to understand what a page is about. So if it sees that a specific term is being mentioned a certain amount of times and more people are reading that specific page, it will associate like if this page is mentioning making a murder several
Mm-hmm.
times in the content and somebody's reading this, then maybe the other people need to have that same term in the content. And it does that for every single thing. So it gets super nitty gritty, super, it
Mm-hmm.
can get a little complex, but the whole point of what I'm saying is that you really just need to mirror what they're doing and not only and do it better. So if they have like 1,000 words of content, you need to have 1,200 words of content. If they have 3 images, you need to have 4 images. If they
Okay.
have, a video, you need to have 2 videos, right? So you always want to one up the competition. Then you want to look at the terms. If they're mentioning that main term 5 times, then you mention it 6 times, right? You always want to one up them. In addition to that, you want to look at, so let's just go back here. So in addition to that, you also want to look at not just the person who is coming up number one, but everyone, because you want to identify the trends. So like if
Okay.
we go to this website, right, we would want to see, okay, what, so this one looks different, right? So this one has like all these images. Um, so you would say, okay, but look, wait, hold on, let's see. But there's one clear thing that I would say. So this one has a lot more images, but I think the other
Mm-hmm.
one has more text, right? So that just
Right.
shows you that the other one with more text is winning, right? So you want to like look at the first 5, 6, 7 results and try to get an understanding of what each person is doing, and then try to one up them because that's how Google looks at it. That's
Okay.
exactly how Google looks at it, right?
Okay.
Um, Also, what you can also do as well to see, like just to even verify, okay, you're like, all right, they're ranking, but I don't know what terms they're getting, traffic for. Like I don't know, aside from that one term, I don't know what else they're getting traffic for. You can actually take this specific page and put it in Uber Suggest as well, just to see
Okay.
what other keywords they might be getting traffic for this
Okay.
specific page. Does that make sense?
Okay. It does.
Okay. Any questions so far?
No. So it sounds like so just reading and YouTube, anybody can put anything on YouTube. So it still is true for these like 1,000 word blog posts to get ranked. Um
It's
yeah.
it's a it's a thing of one up in the competitor. So if they have 2,000, you
Okay.
have 2,200. If they have 5,000, you have 5,200. So it's not necessarily like a finite word count, but it's
Okay.
more so of just one up in the competitors. Typically, what you want to do is you want to like, I always like I like looking at the first person just to kind of get a benchmark. But
Okay.
typically what you should do is you should average out everything. So you should look at
Okay.
every like you should identify all of the words that each each competitor is using to rank for that specific term,
Mhm.
and then like average it out to figure out what you need. And there's a really easy, there's a tool actually that you can use to do this. Let me just show you this tool real quick. This tool is not free, but this tool, like if you have this tool is a game changer because it takes SEO and it basically turns it into math. And you love math, so you're probably gonna love this.
Yes.
So let me see. Let's see. I have my friend's login here. So I'm gonna log into his account. And let me just show you. So um it's been a while since I used this. Okay, so let's say like the term that we want to figure out about is the one that we just pulled from Uber Suggest, right? So it's hot,
Mhm.
hot fried Cheetos or hot Cheeto chicken, whatever. I can't read. But let's plug it in here. Just
Okay.
wait for it to load a little bit. I'm gonna show you like this tool just tells you everything. Like if you really want to be to a T, this tool
Mhm.
tells you every single thing you need to know, and I'll send you a link to it after the
Okay.
call in case you want to get it. Um, but yeah, this is a really good tool. And by the way, if you hear my dog barking in the background, he's okay. He's just a little annoying sometimes.
Here.
um, oh, you can't hear him? Okay,
Mm-mm.
cool. Yeah, he's a puppy, so he just he cries a lot. Um, all right, so you can see like so right now, right? This tool is showing you like this chart, and it's showing you like the word count, right? So it's showing
Okay.
you, you know, the people, it's showing you like the correlations, right? So the people who tend to have about this amount of words, just make sure. Wait. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so the people who tend to have this amount of words, right, in the
Mhm.
body of their text, they tend to rank between position 1 to 10. So it's just telling you like you need to have at least this many words to rank, right? It tells
Okay.
you everything to a T. And the reason why I like this tool is because it makes sure that you don't over optimize, but also
Mhm.
that you are, doing it well. So for example, one thing you could do as well is like let's say you want to compare your exact website to everybody else. Um, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to so the first thing you would do is you would want to turn off because so you see this eye button,
Mhm.
this eye thing. You could use this to turn off any competitors that you feel like you wouldn't really compete against anyways, because you want to
Okay.
make sure that it's hyper specific. Like Pinterest, we wouldn't compete against Pinterest, right? Like that's a video, I mean, an image, a picture company. Like that's we wouldn't compete against them. Even if we're competing against someone to SERP, they have mainly pictures. Like that's not relevant for us, right? So you would want to do that, and then let's say, let's put in your website. So do you happen to have a page about this same topic, hot Cheeto fried chicken?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay,
Not at all.
that's fine. So I'm gonna use your competitor as an example. So you see, this is her website right here, right?
Okay.
If she was not ranking for this, number one, we could like take her URL and actually just put it. Whoops. We could take her URL, her website, and actually just put it in this section to figure out, um, you know, her data, her metrics. But because she's already ranking right here, all we have to do is just click this button. You see this thing that says audit?
Mhm.
We click this, and then it literally will tell us like what she needs to do. So, for example, right now, like she's good. She doesn't really need to do anything because she's already the number one person
Mhm.
ranking for this, right? But in the
Right.
event that Google is still gonna, I mean, not Google, Surfer is still gonna tell you like what you can add to even make it better or what you can remove. Now, this you would do on a case by case basis. You again, these tools are just guidelines. If you're already ranking
Mhm.
number one, you don't touch it. If you're ranking number one, don't touch it. But if you're not, right, then you would use this. So you could see that it says, for example, she would need to add flaming hot Cheetos 2 to 11 more times, right?
Okay.
In order to rank for this main term. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So it's showing you all of the gaps in the keywords that you're not mentioning on your page to tell you how you can optimize your page so that you can rank for that term. But she's already
Okay.
ranking for it. But
Go.
this,
I know she's top, but so like let's look at the like place the chicken. So
sure.
in that last action column, that 1 to 2 means what again? Like add one or more two words or
Oh, yeah.
particular
Mhm.
keyword.
So add it means add this particular keyword 2 to 11 more times to that
Um,
page. So it's actually telling you like every single keyword, even if it feels like you need to remove some keywords, like maybe you're over optimizing, it will tell you remove this specific keyword from this page and make sure that you have like this keyword mentioned 3 times or something like that, right?
okay.
So it does that for every single term. Like, it tells her like 1 to 2, 112, I guess 12 cups. It tells her like add 2 to 9 more times, right? So
Mhm.
the reason why I love this is because again, you can actually see like it does all of the math for you to tell you the exact averages of keywords or the exact averages of word count or the exact averages of links or whatever that you might need in order
Mhm.
to rank, right?
Okay.
Um, also, quick question. Are you trying to I should have asked you this in the beginning. I'm just not thinking about it right now. Are you trying to are you trying to like get in front of people on a national level, or are you trying to get in front of people locally?
So, I think it's a combination of both. Like part of my uniqueness is that I talk a lot about Charlotte, in addition to cooking. So I do a combination of, recipes, but I also do like supporting Black owned restaurants in Charlotte. That's kind of like my unique thing that kind of sets me apart from the rest
Mm-hmm.
of these food bloggers. Because there are so many. So Charlotte is the part of it. So I haven't written, that's a goal for 2021, is to create more content around Charlotte, because
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte is a big city that everybody loves, and 100 people move here a day, and so people are looking for content on Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
So it's it's on the list. So I would say both, in a sense. I don't know if that's a thing.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. That's fine. That's fine. So that's great. First off, I have friends in Charlotte, North Carolina,
Yay.
right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I have friends out there. So I'm gonna tell them to go support your business. I'm gonna tell them about you. Because like a lot of my friends that are I'm from New York, and a lot of people that I
Mm-hmm.
know, like New York, to be honest, New York sucks. Like it sounds cool, like to the
Yeah.
outside looking in, it's like, yeah, I want to go to New York. It's so cool. But then when you get here, it's just like, well, I'm in Pennsylvania right now, but when you get to New York, it's just like the hype doesn't really live, like, to me, I guess because I grew up there and I've been living there my whole life, but to me
Mm-hmm.
it's just like there's so many places that are much better. Like I love California.
Oh.
California is great. Oh my god, I love it. I love it. So but yeah. So that being said, one of the most important things, do you have a Google My Business right now?
No, not yet. So I was I didn't know, because, okay, so let me back up. So on my current webpage, it does like list me as doing like social media services, but I took a break from that to
Mhm.
kind of focus on my own stuff. So I didn't, because it's a blog, I didn't know if I needed Google My Business because it was a blog. Like, so I
Okay.
want to, yeah, because
So
the old, oh, go ahead.
okay, so wait. So what would you say right now is your main, like, in terms of what
Mhm.
is your main service right now? Like when people come to you, they're coming to you for,
They're coming for me for recipes,
okay. And
food
so
content.
gotcha. Okay, recipes. Gotcha. Okay. So you don't actually make the food.
No, like yeah, so I mean, I cook it, but I don't actually like sell it to
Gotcha.
anybody.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So you sell the recipes. Okay.
Mhm,
That's another question I should have asked you. Okay, cool. So, I mean, that's good then. I mean, you could still, I mean, that's better. That's even better because at the end
mhm,
of the day, like that's something that you can sell digitally, and you don't
mhm.
necessarily need to like you don't need people to come to you to get this. So that's good.
Okay,
So in terms of that, then don't know if I if Google, like, Google My Business might still be useful for you because it would
mhm,
be like a thing of like you saying, hey, like if you get reviews, right? Like if so many people like your Google My Business and you get reviews, I mean your actual recipes, and you get reviews, then it might be a good thing of, hey, like,
mhm,
you can tell people to go leave reviews on your Google My Business. And let's say you get like 200 reviews. Then you could say, hey, this is something that one of my friends used to do.
mhm,
Um, it used to piss people off, but it's because of our industry. If it wasn't in our industry, you're fine. What he used to
mhm,
do is he would get like all these people to go from his YouTube channel and then leave reviews on his Google My Business. And then what he would
mhm.
tell other people, like when he's speaking at engagements or something, he'd be like, "Yeah, I'm the highest rated SEO on Google." Right? Reality was like he was the highest rated on Google My Business, but just some people just didn't like him saying that.
Yeah,
but but like it's something that in your industry might be good. Like you could say, like
okay,
you could get a whole bunch of reviews. Maybe you get 500 reviews because you have people that you've given recipes before. You can get a lot of, just ask them, hey, did you like what I gave you last time? If you did, can you
mhm,
leave me a review? And then when you start to get these reviews, now you can, when you're doing stuff for yourself, that becomes
okay,
an additional thing that you can mention. Hey, this is what I do. And I have over 200 people who have loved my recipes. You can check my Google My Business. Go look at this right now. that's something that builds your perceived credibility and increases your perceived value, right? So,
Yeah.
and then because of that, because you have all of these people, it's social proof, and because you have all that stuff, it ultimately helps you with just like selling your stuff even more, right?
Yeah.
Also, when somebody comes to you for the first time, another thing that's
Mhm.
really important to have. Oh yeah, yeah, and one thing I want to point out, and I want to point it out before I forget. So when I go, so I love this website, but the only thing is, let me just show you something real quick. I don't know if you
Okay.
noticed it, but there's one like user experience issue here. The issue right here is that when I'm on the website, I don't see your menu. The only way I see your menu right now is if I scroll down,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I agree. I forgot why the designer told me she did it like that. And so I'll reach back out to her to see if she'll change it. Because
Yeah,
that's always, I do have a little bit of background in like website and coding, and that was one thing I didn't necessarily care for.
yeah,
Um, was that you had to scroll down. So typically what I tried to link instead of that home page is I try to link the blog page.
hmm,
Because that's really where I want the traffic to go. And then people can choose to go, back to home if they want to read more, that type of thing. So yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, but she definitely has to revisit that because that's a
Okay.
huge, in terms of just I come to this website. I want to learn more. I want to know what your services
Mhm.
are. I can't
Okay.
find them. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So like she definitely, um, like she did a great job. Like I love it. It's so minimalistic, and I like the colors and everything. But I don't know why couldn't she just put your, I don't know. I don't know how I
Yeah.
would do it differently. But like I like this, but maybe she could just have like, I don't know. I don't know how I would. I'm not a designer, so I don't know how I would specifically do it
Mhm.
differently. But I would do
Yeah.
it differently because this is actually an issue that. So there's this one company I did like an audit for. It's a pretty large
Mhm.
company. It's called Work and Co. And they had
Uh-huh.
the same issue. And as you can see, this website looks nice. Like, look, it's such a good design, really
Mhm.
beautiful, blah 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 blah. But where's the menu?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
so this the thing that they don't tell you is that this is, so when you click on this is the menu.
Okay. And that's a pretty cool menu.
It's a really
I've
cool
never
menu,
seen.
but
Yeah.
yeah, but you wouldn't know. Like, you know what I mean? Because even though it looks nice, it looks cool,
Mhm.
it's a user experience flaw. So people wouldn't be able to get around this website. You know what I mean? And because of that, that doesn't make even though despite of how good it looks, it's not
Mhm.
intuitive. So it's not really good design. Like good design,
Okay.
people should be able to understand what they're doing and how they need to navigate the website and blah 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 blah. So
Okay.
I would say, yeah, I would say that's something to revisit um on her standpoint and see what she can
Yeah.
do. Maybe she can even just add like a quick like menu right here or something that just pushes this
Yeah.
stuff down, and it's something. I'm sure she can figure something out.
Oh
But
yeah, absolutely. I mean, she's wonderful. I mean, this is Show It. And she's amazing. So, I'm gonna reach out to her after we get
mhm,
out off here and see how she wants me to go about it. Cause she
great.
may um like I said, she may want to do it or have me reach out to, other designers, but she may want to work on it because she is a big Show It designer. So she may not want anybody else messing
Yeah,
in
she's
here.
gonna take that. Yeah, she's gonna take that. Yeah, honestly, when I saw this website, I thought about hiring her myself.
She's bomb.com. Like I love her to death. Like I mean, like when I say she is like my web designer for life, she really is. Besides, like she's so popular that I may have to, reach out to other people to do some smaller stuff. But she's pretty amazing and she really gets it. And I like her work style. So
Yeah.
some people,
Hmm.
energy
I
or
get you.
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Our energies line up. And so I appreciate, her patience with me and trying to figure out, you know, even
Yeah.
because I still want to do, hire somebody to go back through and do copy. But to this minimal viable product, I had to do it myself and and get it out and write what I had to write to get on there. But this
Hmm.
improvement. So yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, she's awesome. Like I like it. And then so I showed you this keyword stuff. So I'm gonna also send you like this tool, and it's free. Like this is 100% free. You can use this, and you
Okay.
can kind of go over what we did. And I'll also send you, like, you already know this, but I'm gonna post this on my YouTube channel because
Okay.
I train other people and blah 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 blah. But I'll also send you this recording as well, so you have it for yourself, because it's going to be
Okay.
on my cloud on Zoom. So I'll
Okay.
send it to you so you have it for yourself, so you can rewatch this and use it as kind of like a training.
Yeah.
And then also there's a couple other things I wanted to show you real quickly. um so website loads fast, it's good. Let's see, what was it? Oh, so real quick, do you know what a backlink is?
Yes.
Okay, so
Like so. Yeah. Yeah. So I
okay.
go ahead.
No,
'Cause
no,
I
go
have
ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
So Max, Yoast does sometimes be like, oh, link something else within the page. But sometimes I'm not sure what to link because maybe like the new recipe that I'm writing, um, may not relate to other recipes outside of me putting a line saying, oh, check out this recipe type of deal. I don't know.
Mhm. So yeah, so that would be like an internal link. So you would want to link.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so that's an internal. So there's different types of links, right? There's internal links and there's external links, and
Oh, okay.
external links are backlinks. So basically, when when people are linking from one website, right, to another
Hmm.
website. So if somebody, for example, if I linked from my website to your website,
Hmm.
right, that is a backlink, right? So you're getting
Okay.
a link from me. And so the thing is that they're both very important. Like external links are, I mean, internal links are very important as well. And actually, it's something that I actually preach a lot. Like
Hmm.
I'm a big advocate of, like, making sure that you intern, because a lot of people, they tend to overlook it. Which it's really important. I'm a big advocate of making sure that you internally link all your related pages together.
Okay.
With that strategy, you just want to make sure to link to anything on your website that's relevant to your blog. So for example, or to the page that you're writing about. So if you're
Okay.
writing about chicken recipes, and then you're writing about a specific type of chicken recipes, then, or just chicken recipe, then you want to link that recipe to maybe another one. Like you could say, "Hey, did you enjoy this recipe? Uh Go read this one. Go read this other post that I wrote, because you might like that as well." And you can link from that first page A to page B. Does that make sense?
That does.
Okay. So so you could do that, but also you should also what you call it?
That backlink. Oh no.
Yeah, so you should also internally link to your homepage. So like all of the stuff that you're writing, try to find a way to link it to your homepage, because it
Okay.
just helps with with the it just helps Google. Like, so I don't want to get too technical, but basically Google has something called a web crawler. And a web crawler is basically, let's see, what's a good analogy? Think of it like, all right, think of internal links like this, right? You have
Mhm.
a team of basketball players, right? They're all
Mhm.
supposed to be on the same team, and the person in the middle, like everybody's wearing blue except for the person in the middle, right?
Okay.
And so there's like six on one side. Let's say there's like seven. There's seven on one side and six on the other
Mhm.
side. And then the person in the middle has on a yellow shirt and everybody else is wearing blue. There's a clear disconnect there, right? Like you would expect the person in the middle to also have on blue if he's on the same team as them, right? And when
Mhm.
he has on blue, it makes everything look like it's more in alignment with each other, with the team. So what you're doing with Google is you're basically making sure that Google knows that all of your pages are relevant to your homepage, right?
Okay.
Like you want to make sure that Google knows that everything is in alignment with that main homepage. And so that's why you need to internally link whenever possible to your homepage, because it just helps build relevance to that page, and it helps you to perform better in their specific search engine, right? Or in Google. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. Any questions?
No. Well, I
Okay.
I don't know if I understood backlinks though. Is the
Oh,
backlink
okay. No,
that
no.
referring to the
So
homepage?
no, 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 no. Sorry. So a backlink is when if someone links from, so let me show you an example. So let's go to Wikipedia, right?
Okay.
Let's say what's something I can write? Baking. Let's just,
Hmm.
Wikipedia baking, or it went with baking soda, whatever. Okay, so if Wikipedia, see if I can find an example. So you see how Wikipedia has all these links on their website and it's going to like
Hmm.
other pages in their website.
Yeah.
This is an internal link because it's happening internally, right?
Okay.
On their website. A
Hmm.
backlink is, for example, if Wikipedia, see if I can find one. Basically, if Wikipedia was linking from their website to your website,
Okay.
that would be a backlink. It's coming from it's external. So it's from another website
Hmm.
to your website. That's a backlink. Does that make sense?
It does. So I think sometimes like I do, but they show up in my comment section
Hmm.
for me to approve, like when people quote unquote link like my page recipe wise or whatever, to their
Well,
page.
you would want them. So what you would want is you would want somebody who's in your industry, who's hyper
Hmm.
specific. Like for example, let's say your competitor, right? You would want
Hmm.
her to create some type of, like, let's say you wanted to partner with her for whatever reason, just for content.
Hmm.
Obviously, she's your competitor, so you wouldn't. But I'm just using
No,
this
no,
as
no.
an
I
example.
think sometimes I look, especially in this food space, she's definitely like competitor as she's doing wonderful, and I'm just trying to be on her level.
Gotcha. So let's say you guys had an opportunity to collab, right?
Mhm.
And then you said, "Hey, I want to post an article on your website that I think would be helpful for your users." You would
Okay.
post that article on her website, and maybe you read a small bio about yourself, like, Erique is blah 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 blah. She does blah blah blah
Mhm.
blah blah. She owns XYZ company, and then you would link from her website, right, to your
Okay.
website, and that
Okay.
would be considered a backlink for you because you're getting somebody else to link from their website to your website.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Now, you can also give backlinks as well. Like if somebody reaches out to you, like if I was to reach out to you and say, "Hey, can I write an article on your website?" And then in return, you just link from your website to my website. I'm
Mhm.
asking you for a backlink. Why is this? Does that make sense? Just want to make
Yeah.
sure you're following me. Okay.
Mhm.
Why is this important? Because Google, the way that Google evaluates whether or not a website is trustworthy or not, think of a backlink like reviews, right? There's different types of reviews. So
Mhm.
let's say we see a product and a product has a review, but it has like 1 star. We're gonna think that that product sucks. So there's different quality of backlinks, right? There's like 1 star reviews and then there's 5 star reviews, right? But there's also like authoritative backlinks and backlinks that are not really that good, right? And it's a lot to get into of how to classify whether or not they're good or
Mhm.
not. But the whole point is that if we're trying to go get a product, like if we're trying to go get some shoes on Amazon, we want to
Mhm.
see reviews about those shoes. We don't want to see reviews about a robot on that specific shoe, right? We want to make sure that everything is relevant. So that's what Google wants to see. If you are getting links to your website, first off, it needs to be relevant. Like they need to be in the same industry as you, right? Or within that food space. So if you got like what's a big like company like the Food Network, right? That's a big thing. Food.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you got
I
a
would say feed. I think definitely did a backlink.
okay,
Um, yeah.
and we
So
could
they're
check. We can actually check. So hold on.
okay.
Uh, oops. Get referring domains. Okay, so these websites are referring you. So these are like websites that you're receiving backlinks from. So you are getting backlinks, which is good. You want to get as many as possible from relevant
Okay.
uh like websites. So if you, for example, can like guest blog, like maybe you can guest blog on some of these people's website, that'll be a
Okay.
good way to get a backlink. Now, one of the ways that I prioritize, or that I really believe in the approach of, you create the best content possible. If you
Mhm.
create the best content possible and people see your content, they will love your content, and then they will naturally link to it, right?
Okay.
But I'm also giving you like a strategy that you can use and actively pursue backlinks, because what happens is when you get these backlinks, it helps your website to be more credible. And when it
Okay.
gets your website to be more credible, Google will push you up in their search engine, because that's really what they want to see. Does that make sense?
It does. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So yeah. So create good content, share it on social media. That's ways that you want to do it. People will link to you, but also in the event that you wanted to, like,
Mhm.
those opportunities are good. Like, if somebody says, "Hey, come post on my blog," don't turn it down.
Mhm.
Like do it. If it's relevant, do it, and make sure that they link to your website,
Okay.
because it's gonna help you. Um, okay, so, and then the last thing too is, so right now when I come to your website, there's a lot of great information. One of the things that I'm wondering is, do you know what a lead magnet is?
Yes. And those show up on the resource page
Okay.
or in my um and the blog page. There's one little piece of it. So I have some there. Which I'm planning some content around the first one, well, the middle
Hmm.
one, the meal planner,
Hmm.
um, to get people, because I never kind of explain these things, that they were available to individuals. So because that lead magnet is not on the home page, um, you know.
So what I would recommend is,
Okay.
so here's the thing, like always remember this, with your blog, with anything that you do,
Okay.
every time somebody comes to your website, you don't want to just give away content for free, right? Like,
Okay.
whenever you're doing something with your business, you want to make sure that there's a opportunity there. You want to make sure that you can get some type of information from that person or whatever. So I would recommend, and I hate pop-ups, but they work. Like, I hate pop-ups so much, but they work. So I would recommend having some type of pop-up on your
Okay.
pages. So, like, for example, if somebody comes to your website, right?
Hmm.
And they come to your homepage, when they scroll down 50%, that tells me that they're interested in what you do. They like what you
Okay.
do. If they scroll down 50% to 50% of your page, that's when you should give them the pop-up, right?
Okay.
That's when you should show them, hey, you like reading my article, or what, or you like my services? Here's a free thing that you can take with you. All you have to do is give me your email address, because you want to build your email address. I mean, your email list. The more you build your email list, the easier it's going to be for you to monetize that, right? So you want to do that for your blogs as well, because that's where a lot of your traffic is going to come. And one of the biggest mistakes that I see a lot of people make is they get all this traffic coming to their website, but then they
Hmm.
don't capture that traffic. And if you're not capturing the traffic, you're not going to be able to monetize it. Because, believe it or
Okay.
not, um, most of the people who come to your website just to read what you're writing about, they're going to come to your website, and if you don't, like, obviously if they like it, maybe they might come back. But majority of the time, unless you're giving them some sort of incentive to come back, people don't come back to your website. Like, think about it. What's a website aside from like an industry blog, or somewhere where
Mhm.
you get news from? I was just talking to people about this the other day, actually. What's a website that you just go to, except for like YouTube and Facebook and Instagram? Is there a website that you just go to that's not related to news, that you're just like, yeah, I want to go to this website?
Oh. I mean, outside of shopping, sometimes are you ask? Is that kind of like rhetorical or like a real website?
No, no, like a real website. Like, is there a website outside of like shopping, and
Oh,
just like somebody's website? Somebody's like, oh, like, is there like a person that you follow that you just like, yeah, I want to go to this person's website today, like on a
oh,
daily basis or a weekly basis?
sadly, not off the top. It usually revolves around industry or like the food
Yeah,
industry.
yeah, but you're not the only one.
Shopping.
you're not you're not the only one. See, that's the thing, right? So I'm using that as an example to show you that I do the same thing. The only websites I go to is websites that have like industry news, because that's my incentive. That's my incentive to keep going back. It's like I need to learn what's new. But like I'm not gonna like I know my website is nice, but I know people don't just go to my website because unless I tell them, hey, go to my website, or they see me
Okay.
somewhere. My website is like my business card, but they don't go to my website just to say, oh, what did Dre post today? Like that,
Mhm.
that just doesn't happen unless I remind them. I have to let them know, hey,
Okay.
I'm doing this, right? So my point is that think of the person who's coming to your website, right?
Mhm.
Like they're coming to your website, but they're probably going to read some information that they want, and then they're gone, right?
Okay.
So you have to maximize that opportunity. You have to try to get their email address, or you got to try to get them, like maybe you add a chat bot to your website and you can get their Facebook info, whatever. But you have to figure out some type of way to where you can grow some type of, because you want to build that relationship with them, right? At that
Mhm.
point, it's just relationship building, right?
Yeah.
Like once you build a relationship with someone, it's so much easier. That's what marketing really is. Like
Mhm.
marketing is communication and relationship building. It's like building a
Okay.
relationship, making somebody feel comfortable, and then they'll buy something from you, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, so that's my advice on that. Like just get a lead magnet, maybe have some type of
Okay.
pop up, change the menu thing. Um, yeah. So any other questions or anything? Because I know we have like 5 minutes left, but if you have, I don't have anything else. I'm gonna send you like the reports that I have for you
Mhm.
and blah 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 blah, so you can like fix it or figure it
Yeah.
out. And any questions on from
Yeah,
from you?
so kind of explain some of your services because definitely, I'm building towards that way of, hiring it kind of figure out what I like to do and I'm okay with doing.
Mm-hmm.
Um and I think like the social media piece I can do and I actually love doing it. But some of these other little things I can get off my plate, I would love to do so. So can you talk a little bit about what kind of services you offer and that type of thing?
Sure. So my services right now at the moment is not, so I don't offer done for you services anymore.
Mhm.
I just have like DIY.
Okay.
But and typically what I do is like I create like a whole strategy and I like lay it out
Oh,
for you
okay.
and give you a roadmap and blah 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 blah. And then you can execute it, and I'll walk you through the process and help you with that.
Okay.
But I do have people who can, if you want SEO services and you
Mhm.
want somebody to do it for you, I train like a lot of SEOs. Like I have like over 25 people that I'm working with right now that I
Okay.
teach this stuff to. And I could
Okay.
connect you with someone in my network, and I could find somebody who's going to be a good fit for you. Everybody who I work with is super cool. So if you want a strategy,
Okay.
I can give you a strategy.
Okay.
But that's mainly what my area of focus is on right now.
Okay.
Um,
I
so
like.
up to
So
you.
I mean, I think thank you for explaining it because I do think you know, just speaking to myself and maybe other bloggers, there's so much to this thing.
Hmm.
We often think that it's all about just creating this content, putting it somewhere, and
Hmm.
people, building and they are come, and that's not the case. Like you got to put all this other stuff to piece to it. So,
Hmm.
I even think like strategy is a good thing because even what you have shared with me today, um, I'm like, oh, okay, I really need to rethink that and kind of do some things. And so I appreciate that.
Hmm.
So
No
yes,
problem. Yeah. So what I
So
can
what
do
kind of
is,
strategies? Like, is it like strategies about like, I don't know, like just ranking or like tell me
yeah.
about like
So so
strategies. Like what
so
kind of
I
strategies do I need?
I take a holistic approach to SEO, right? So like for me,
Okay.
it's like some people, they have like this thing where it's like I only want to focus on this one, like just
Mhm.
ranking you. I don't care about that. I like to look at the
Okay.
whole business as a whole, right? And
Okay.
so for me, I look at like not just your SEO strategy, but your marketing
Mhm.
strategy, look at your paid ad strategy, look at everything
Okay.
to try to figure out how we can best maximize the potential of your business, right?
Okay.
So like whenever I'm crafting my strategies, because that's what SEO really is. Like SEO is all
Mhm.
encompassing. It's not just like this one thing. Like it's not just this, hey, we're going to focus on these keywords. Like the thing about SEO is you're optimizing a website so that you can
Mhm.
get more visibility, right? Every
Mhm.
single thing that I do, like if I'm running a paid ad to your website, that's going to impact your SEO. If Google can see your content, that's going to impact your SEO, because the more people go to your website and the more people land on your page, they engage with your page, they're spending time on your page, Google's going to see that as a positive signal. So when people talk about SEO and they take this like one channel approach, it's so wrong to me. So I like to look
Mhm.
at the whole thing. So I look at, first off, like the thing I just mentioned, your lead magnet. Like, do you have a lead magnet? What type of lead magnet could we be creating? Because I know that
Mhm.
we need to get all the bottom funnel stuff in order first, so that when people are coming to your website, you can maximize off of that. We don't want you to just start driving traffic and then you can't, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like you're not going to be able to monetize it. And I look at your SEO strategy. So your
Mhm.
content gaps. I look at your competitors to see, okay, what are your competitors doing that you're not doing, and what type of content could you be posting and stuff like that. So I do keyword research, and I actually, when I do the keyword research, I map out the exact amount of words per each article, so you can know
Mhm.
exactly what you need to rank, how many words of content you need, images, video, stuff that we were talking about earlier. Then I
Mhm.
also look at, like, is your website accessible? Because I'm not just looking at it from a Google perspective, but I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
can users see this? Like, can people
Mhm.
see what's on your page so that you can make purchases, right? And then
Yeah.
I also look at, like, okay, I'll look at, like, your budgeting, like how much money can you spend on advertising to be profitable for your business, and what makes sense for you, or is that a valid channel for you to go with, right? I
Mhm.
look at so I look at a multitude of different things, and really
Okay.
just put together like a holistic strategy, so that you can start really just conquering and dominating your niche. And I think that right now, with where you're at, you have like a great foundation. You have like the website, which looks beautiful, right?
Mhm.
I think that, like, with a little bit of minor tweaks and stuff of that nature, and just putting together that whole strategy, it would help significantly. So that's
Okay.
kind of like my approach to it. Um, and like my student, like everybody that I coach as well, like my
Mhm.
students,
Sorry, everybody
usually
and their mom is texting me on.
it's all good. Yes, it's all good. It's all good. So if that's something that you're interested in, we could definitely speak about it. I could send you my rates and you could let me know.
Yeah. Let me
Or I
know.
could connect you with one of my coaching clients. They're all great people as well. Just like to give you like a ballpark range of like what my prices look like for that strategy.
Mhm.
It starts
Okay.
anywhere between like $3,000 to like $6,000.
Okay.
Um, and that's typically how much it ranges from.
Okay.
And so yeah, so each thing has different, like each strategy, like each level is different. So obviously the
Okay.
3,001 is going to be way different than the $6,000 one.
Yeah.
But for the most part, that's basically what it looks like, what I do, how my services work, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
And yeah,
Perfect. Thank
great.
you.
No problem. So I'm gonna follow up with you.
Okay.
I'm gonna go feed my dog. I'm gonna go play with him a little bit first, and then I'll follow up with you. And then
Yes.
if you have any questions, like, you could always reach out to me. Like, I want to
Okay.
stay in your network. Like, I like your energy. You're a nice person, and I want to stay connected. We got to help each other out, like.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna post you. Even as rough as I look, I'm gonna post you on my stories.
I
Because I mean,
appreciate
I
you.
definitely appreciate this because it has definitely put me you know on a track for 2021. So
That's
that's
great. I'm
what I'm
happy to hear
using
that.
my vacation for, is to kind of focus on this blog and
Hmm.
giving myself grace that we're all living through a pandemic, but
I know, right?
2021. I'm
I
used to
can't
the
wait.
pandemic now.
Yeah, honestly, you know what? Like, you probably wouldn't tell, but I'm like really introverted. Like, I'm extremely introverted.
Oh, me too.
Oh, really? Oh, see,
Yeah,
we got that in
very.
common. I'm really introverted. I mean, like, I don't know if you ever took like the Myers-Briggs test, but I
Mhm.
got the what I got back was like I got the INTP or something like that. Like, I'm a
Mhm.
logician, and it says like I'm like 72% introverted. And like the thing is like I'm so for me, like, this feels like heaven. Like, I'm just at home. Like, I don't get me wrong, it's driving me nuts at the same time, because I want to go out with my friends. I want to like do certain things,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I'm just like, man, this is kind of good at the at the same
Oh
time,
yeah, I'm the same. Like I'm like architect, and it's like only like 10% of women are the architects. And literally, I have had peace because I haven't had to cancel, but if I do, I'm like, it's a pandemic outside. I'm nervous. So like, nobody ask any question.
That's funny.
And I was telling somebody, I was like, I was like, is it bad that I'm like happy and
enjoying it?
I was like, I just have peace. Like, I don't have to be anywhere. I don't show up. Like, it's a pandemic and I'm excused.
Yeah,